Hello. This week we'll be discussing and demonstrating self-massage practice as a means of releasing tension in muscles and tissues that are pulling us into bad positions and restricting our freedom of movement. In that first clip, you saw the tools that we'll be using. These are easy to find online, and there's a variety of options available. Different softness levels or firmness levels, different diameters. Yoga Tune-Up is a great resource for massage therapy balls. They come in a wide range of sizes. I'm quite fond of rolling tubes and pins, but the balls are also great for more specific work. So I'm going to start out here, rolling on my glutes, going nice and slow, creating waves of pressure, trying to follow the grain of the tissue. Although this is not necessary, but it does help facilitate easy release. Slow and steady, back and forth. And in this case, because I'm sitting on top of the roller, I do have a lot of my body weight on it. But I'm going to emphasize repeatedly in this video, we do not need to drive into these tissues aggressively. Easy does it. We're letting go, not forcing anything. And here I'm moving up to the tissues around my spine, starting with the low back. This is where I would suggest being careful. We're not flopping over the pin, trying to maintain a neutral shape, letting go of tension as we roll. And then I can move up into my thoracic spine, along my rib cage. This is where most of you will need a lot of attention. I definitely do. And you can spend a lot of time here. I'm just going to briefly cover some major areas that I think are important, but I would suggest several minutes at least in a given area as you're massaging. Slow and steady, waves of pressure, forward and back. And you can also go side to side. I don't do that here while I'm rolling along my spine, but you can roll over to the lateral sides of your torso and get your lats and your serratus and obliques and all the tissues of your torso, really. But same principle, slow and steady, waves of pressure. And as we're rolling, we're using the same breathing technique that we practice while we're training, exhaling to release tension and to relax deeper into the apparatus that we're massaging with. And so now I'm getting the muscles of my calf, my foreleg, and notice I'm articulating my ankle along with it. This is a good way to help you hit different angles and release tension in all ranges of motion of this ankle or whatever part you're working on. And I'll do this with several other areas of my body, as you'll see. Slow and steady. I'm not trying to get more weight on top of the roller because just the weight of my leg is sufficient. I'm allowing my muscles to relax into the roller. I'm not trying to turn my tissues into butter. Although they are getting more supple, of course, that's the point of massaging. But easy does it. Just like training, we're not in any rush. We're not trying to force anything. We're allowing and we're letting go. Now I'm getting my neck. This is an area I spend a lot of time in because I feel like this is where I need perhaps the most release. And a rolling pin will work, but I've got this nice small-sized foam roller. It's quite firm, but this is the tool that I found to be most effective. And I'm massaging all around the base of my skull. I can get the sides, and I can go up and down my cervical spine. And I'm not rolling directly along the spine, but along the tissues that run adjacent to it. Now you can see I'm using my hand to relieve some of the weight of my head. So I'm actually taking off some of the pressure that I've got on the roller rather than trying to put more and get a deeper massage. And so the thing with deep tissue work is if you're too aggressive, you can end up bruising or creating unnecessary soreness, the consequences of which I'm not totally aware of, but pain is a good indicator that you're doing something wrong. You're being too aggressive. There's no sense in trying to force your tissues to mold to a certain kind of shape or length or suppleness. It's simply not possible. You cannot force your tissues to do it. You have to allow them to adapt to being longer and more supple. And this massaging, self-massaging, just helps facilitate that. I actually had a wonderful opportunity to have massage work done on me for the first time, and it was an incredible experience. I've become very familiar through training where I hold tension and where I need to release, but having someone massage me externally really helped me better understand those specific areas where my tissues are tight. And it was an incredible experience being able to feel in the moment the release of that tension as the massage therapist worked into these tissues. Fingers are a great tool also. You don't have to limit yourself to balls and rollers and pins. I will often massage just with my fingers, different parts of my body. And you can use oil just like a massage therapist would. Coconut oil is great. Be creative with this practice and explore your body and get to know it better. So here I'm massaging my quad, starting near the knee, working through range of motion at the knee joint as I roll up and down this part of my leg. Slow and steady. These tissues are very, very tender. And so here's another option. I can go up on my elbows and roll the full length of my femur, forward and back, real slow, real slow. So as you're doing this, you may encounter bumps or lumps that you'll have to roll over. It's a good idea to relieve the pressure as you're navigating these things. They are inevitable, but with time we can help them release, and that's what we're trying to do. So here I'm doing the sole of my feet, another area that most of us have probably neglected and need a lot of work in. Forward and back, following the grain of these tissues, trying to allow my toes to stay extended or open. They're going to want to curl into flexion, but we're trying to allow them to stay open. And alternatively, you can use a ball and get even more angles. So sweeping across my foot rather than just forward and back. And I can do the same down here near my heel. Really nice. And I can get the medial part of my foot here really well. And now my forearm. A lot of us are probably really gripped due to stress or thought patterns, behavior. Letting go of that grip. Inside, outside, parts of every part of our body that we're massaging. We can hit every angle. Slow and steady. We don't need a lot of pressure. We just need to allow ourselves to relax into the massage. So back of forearm is kind of a tricky spot to hit, but worthwhile. And the nice thing about the rolling pin, you can also use it as a rolling pin, holding both handles, and massage into tissues that way. especially good for legs, or you can massage a partner with a rolling pin, really effective. And so now I'm going to hit my tricep and areas around my elbow. And you can hit nearly any tissue of your body that feels tight and needs release. Massaging is not perfect, but it does help facilitate the release that we're trying to accomplish through training also. So they work well together. And I encourage you to give it a try and see what you can learn through this practice. And get used to the letting go of tension as you massage. And again, spend a lot more time than I am on these individual areas. It takes time to create adaptations. Don't rush through it. Slow and steady. And as a final note, this is a great thing to do before bed. It really helps you slow down and relax and get ready for sleep. So I hope you give it a try. Good luck.